2026 in great spirits and are ready for an Happy New Year to all the Rugby Scoop listeners. Happy New Year. We hope you've entered 2026 in great spirits and are ready for another year of high-level rugby breakdowns and sharp analysis. From our pundits, the usual, Jade Craig, all the way from Bloemfontein, Vuyo Zanga, all the way from all over the world, Hugh Griffin, Welsh, but he is in England. We are 20 months away from Rugby World Cup 2027. While the countdown has already begun, today's episode kicks off with a recap of some of the most eye-catching moments from 2025 and even some things that took place last month because we were away with festivities. Before we kick off, Jade Craig, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. How has it been? How has December been for you so far?
God, December's been good, bro. 5 days heavier, bulking up. Yeah, and that's been good. Had a good time off. Over in shops, territory for New Year. So that's came back with a bit of a virus. I think they must have been listening to the school podcast and they were criticizing the shop this weekend. So it must have given me that virus when I came back. But yeah, otherwise I'm back.
Vickers Miranda, Russia, China, Hong Kong, you name it. How's December? How are things going down in South Africa?
Yeah, pretty good, bro. Pretty good. Compliments to you all. Yeah, it's been an amazing one. Hadn't had a time to rest. I think I've hit about 5 cities every week. It's tough. But I'm enjoying the sun and I'm enjoying a little bit of time off with some family. So pretty good. Not much rugby watched, but definitely keeping up with the news.
Keeping up with the news. Keeping up with the Rugby Scoop 2026. Griffin, I landed at the Netherlands last night. Man, oh man. The runways covered in snow. The rivers, the lakes, the canals covered in snow. Today we had a training session that I attended. The rugby field covered in snow. How are things in London? How has the festive been for you? How was Christmas? And how was the entry into 2026?
Yeah, good. Happy New Year, everybody. It's nice to be back. Yeah, it's snowy here as well. It's been snow on the ground for the last few days here in the English Midlands. So it's very cold. It's very cold. I always think of you guys, when it was Ulster versus Munster on Friday night in the URC, and there's obviously a couple of South Africans playing. And they must have been thinking, because it was snowing during the game, I don't know if you saw, they must have been thinking, man, get me back to Cape Town already, jeez. But it's been good. A bit like Jade, I was a bit ill in the lead up to Christmas, so that kind of ruined things a little bit for me. Very ill, in fact. But I'm better now, and I'm ready to talk the footy with you guys.
Oh, fantastic. Good to hear you've recovered. I was also down in South Africa for December. Yeah, very lovely time. I think I was hop skipping and jumping all over the place, like Vickers as well. Landed in Joburg, went to Port Elizabeth. From Port Elizabeth, we went to Cape Town. From Cape Town, went back to Joburg. Joburg went to Bloemfontein. Bloemfontein went back to Joburg. Oh, man, what a time to be alive. It was hot every single day. I mean, I think Johannesburg, it probably rained about 2 times. But even that rain was probably about half an hour, to be honest. But pretty much the whole holiday was just covered in sun. And I've realized that my threshold for the sun is not so great anymore. I can't stand sitting in the sun for more than 10 minutes. I was looking for shade, ducking and diving, looking for trees. But nonetheless, we are here, gentlemen. We are here. Rumor mill and headlines. We're starting off with rumor mill and headlines. Oh, rumors. Jade, we're going to kick off with you, actually. Rumor swirling that Nick Evans could be the next All Blacks attack coach. We've heard all the other names being thrown around. Rog was one of them as well. But I mean, what are your thoughts regarding this particular one when it comes to Nick Evans? We know he's been with Bothwick before, but yeah, he's gone under the radar a bit. Now they're thinking of bringing him back to New Zealand. Talk to me.
Is he gonna make a difference? Is he gonna challenge Razor? Or is his appointment gonna frighten other teams? You know, like wow, we need to watch this team now. They have a mastermind in attack. They have a mastermind there. I don't get me wrong. I think he's better than Anthony and Mighty Ellison and whoever's there, Scott McLeod. So I don't think he's gonna be the appointment that everybody wants. I think let's see if they do and who they do appoint. But for me, it's going to be I'm going to say a climax, a real low key appointment.
Yeah.
Really the appointment that's needed. If it's Nick Evans and Wayne Smith or Nick Evans and another big name, yeah, well done. But I'm not sure it's going to be out and glad, man. The appointment be the police. I mean, what has he done? What has he achieved? To warrant him to be an All Black assistant and that coach. And 2 years ago, you were linking the best coaches in the world for that job. Now, Nick Evans, brilliant players. But yeah, I don't think he's the man for the job.
Yeah, Griffin in England, I mean, he was there with Bothwick and everything. But I mean, was he hyped up back in those days? Or what are your thoughts on this guy, Nick Evans?
Oh, yeah. He was hyped a little bit, I guess, but everyone in England is. To be honest, I haven't kept tabs on his career that much, but it is a name that rings a bell. I think he was highly regarded, but he kind of disappeared off the radar a little bit, and I haven't heard anything from him since.
No, fair. Vickers, before actually we get into the other topics and everything else, is there anything for you that stood out in 2025 rugby season? Be it club, be it internationals, what stood out for you?
Yeah, look, I think towards the end of the back end of last year, I think we didn't really speak much about the URC. But I'll tell you one thing that I've been really impressed with is how the Stormers are cleaning up in terms of winning the games in those dying minutes. We've seen it in the past that they weren't able to do that, but we saw it in the first season when they won the URC. But now they seem to be more control, and I think they have some cool heads within the squad. There's no panic type of thing. I mean, yesterday I was shouting that they must go for poles, but I mean, they decided to go for a line-out and scored. So I think for me, the one thing that's standing out now, currently, I mean, we're still one game in, is the Stormers are really looking dangerous. I think everyone should be worried in terms of how they pulled off the wins, even away wins, because the home wins are sort of like standard, but away wins that they've pulled and the teams that they've played tells us that these guys are actually building something special. And I mean, credit to the coaching staff for changing things around. Because remember, there was a time where they were not doing well last season, but now they seem to be actually dominating, if we can call it that.
No, fair. Hugh, for you, 2025, club and country, or club or country?
Well, from my point of view, I don't want to talk about either of those things. Thanks. What stood out to me, obviously, we spent the whole year talking about the Springboks, with them playing 15 test matches. It was really Springbok heavy year. The scrums, I think, was a big talking point. How rugby kind of tried to depower the scrums, and it ended up not working, and that culminated in that 16 scrum fest that we saw in Dublin with the Springboks and Irelands. I enjoyed the top 14 last season. I thought the top 14 final, 24-25 final between Toulouse and Bordeaux was one of the best finals I've watched ever. Really enjoyed that game. I thought the Lions tour was a bit disappointing. And obviously, the big talking point kind of away from it all is with USA. What's going on with USA rugby with the fall of the MLR now down to 6 teams?
Yeah.
and the investment they're getting looking ahead to Rugby World Cup 2031. That's kind of the big one. So those are the kind of the main talking points. Obviously, we talked about Razor, we talked about Schmidt. Maybe not a vintage year, but lots of talking points in terms of controversies, in terms of people underperforming, lots of opinions getting thrown around, I guess.
Okay, all right. Jade?
2025, a year I want to put away. But now, you know what? Man, for me, it's just, I would like to say, you know, the international stars in the European competitions, you know, the influence they've had, you know. I mean, we've seen some stellar knocks from international players. I mean, we've got like Jody Barrett in the UFC final. You've performance of Sasha here and there. I mean, it was one performance of Sasha in the UFC last year. We were absolutely brilliant. So of course, international stars that we've had, you know, the big name players that have been performing in big competitions. And then also, you know, the ultimate and the amount of IP that the international stars players, you know, I've put onto other players. You look at the likes of Monster in the first 5 games in the UFC, how they performed in 2021, how they turned their season around. You look at, you know, it's interesting and exciting to see, you know, once he does get the ball going out. What's his name? The prop from Australia does a poster. And then obviously you can watch that great exit there as well. Also, literally big net players now, the ultimate international rugby. I mean, especially now when you're looking at scope, you're looking at the way the game is going now, you know, looking at the big name players, you know, from New Zealand, Australia, so actually staying overseas. Looking at Australian, New Zealand players, it's a backpick was playing in the UFC. And then for me, you know, also see how those players adapt and then how they play that side and what they're learning, what they're also. You know, that for me has been interesting. I mean, it has been a little bit of a trial. And Jody Barrett, they lost to Leinster. And I think it's been a toxic, going to open up doors, you know, for many, many more players. She might even see a few Japanese players, you know, not even seeing like doing it dance, you know, doing it and playing in the UFC for a year or two. I mean, just to add experience. So it's not a bad thing. It's just something for me, you know, that I like and I feel really positive. I mean, I've spoken to you personally and I've said that I'm okay with my only performance for Leinster. Hasn't really looked up, but I mean, it's been strong. And then, yeah, for me, you know, it's also something I want to see more of, you know, more international, or let's say super rugby Japanese, you know, going over to Europe and, you know, starting that trend.
No, fair. Guys, still to come. We're still going to discuss local stuff. We're still going to discuss the Blue Bulls, from removing Jake White to what's currently happening. We're still going to discuss the Sharks removing the former All Black assistant coach to now having JP Peterson. We're still going to discuss plenty, Sasha and Pollard stinking up the place last night. Probably the most horrific poor performances from 10s in an SA derby we've seen in a very long time. Plenty to discuss. What stood out for me in 2025? Disappointment in Razor is probably one of the massive disappointments in 2025. So that stood out in a negative way for me. In a positive way, I can say the likes of Sasha lighting it up in the international scene, that is. And Jade, you did mention him lighting it up at URC level as well. I think he kind of brought a different perspective to URC. You know, when you watch Top 14, everything is DuPont orientated. But now when you watch URC, you know you're looking forward to watching those Stormers. I think Vickers also mentioned this earlier as well, about Stormers just keep chipping away, man. They keep chipping away slowly but surely and winning those knockout rounds, because it's blow by blow once it comes to the last 15. And that's when it matters. That first half, I will discuss that later, actually. But yeah, so for me, disappointment in Razor and his All Blacks, really not living it up. Now, then Sasha as a positive light to the international rugby scene. And it'll be very interesting to see what happens this year when the Springboks face France and DuPont is available, Sasha is available. Oh, man, humdinger. Anyway, back to the rumor mill and headlines. Hugh Toulouse enduring a surprisingly shaky season. I mean, how many games did they lose last year in top 14 or in the Investec Championship? Because I'm looking at them now, big upset on Friday against Perpignan, and now all of a sudden, maybe, obviously they're still number one, but are they easy to beat this season than previous seasons?
Look, in the top 14, we normally see that there's a big differential home and away. Now, so we've had 14 rounds. The top 14 so far this season, Toulouse have lost 4 matches. Last season, they lost 7 in 26 and 1 draw. So it's kind of tracking the same. It was a big surprise that they lost to Perpignan. Perpignan were bottom of the league and they'd won 1 game all season. They've been really dreadful this season, to be honest, so far. So for them to knock over Toulouse is a surprise. But then if you look at the team that Toulouse fielded, Toulouse had a big home game last weekend, and they've got Champions Cup next weekend. So they rested a lot of players. They played a lot of players out of position in this game. And, it kind of slightly predictable what happened when you look at the strength of the team they sent. Although you always back to lose because they are so strong compared to everybody else. I mean, if I look at their points difference now, they've got a points difference of plus 248. The next best in the top 14 is plus 103. So it's more than double. Like, it's 1.5 times better than anybody else. So are Toulouse easier to beat? Not when they've got their first team out. When they've got their first team out, I still don't really think that they're beatable. But, we're seeing a lot of variation week to week in the top 14 at the moment in terms of teams sending B teams and picking up bad losses. And Toulouse aren't the only team in that.
All right. Fair enough. Now, jumping into the nitty-gritty, Vickers, maybe let's start off with you on this one. Okay, during December, we didn't have a lot of time to discuss on this, to have the space run up and running, because obviously all of us were all over the world doing different things at different times. There wasn't really much time, and maybe a few glasses of Avante here and there. Guys were probably waking up with massive hangovers on Sundays. Jake White, was it justified or premature for him to be sacked by the Blue Bulls, looking at what's currently happening at the Bulls right now? Justified or premature?
No, it's not as a cut and paste type of thing. I think the question that we don't know and we have to ask is that, what was the reason? Because at the end of the day, if you reach 3 finals and you lose all 3 finals, is the management thinking that change will be good for the team? Or are they thinking that maybe the guy is not getting them over the line? So I would say that the biggest one for me is, how do you then appoint the next guy? Because remember, if you're going to replace a coach that's winning and just losing at finals, then the next coach that you appoint should be a winning coach. For example, let me make in a wild example here. You bring in a guy like Hansen. He's won double World Cup. He's won World Cups, not doubles. He's won World Cups. He's won plenty of rugby championships. So it's bringing that guy in to give you the next step, the next level. So when you don't do that, then it begs the question of why was really let go. I think maybe, I'm still not, I don't know, I wouldn't know. Maybe he had lost the belief, the confidence from the management team. From when I talk about management, I'm talking about the higher level, not the staff that is coaching with, but the higher level management. Maybe had lost some confidence there, or he had lost some confidence with the senior players. So for me, those are the couple of things that we can probably talk about, because at the end of the day, if you look at the new coaching staff that has come in, you ask the question, were they better than the results of that Jake has done, or were they coming in from where were they coming from? Let me just put it like that.
Interesting. Jade, premature or justified? Jake White.
I think the writing was on the wall. Because you know what, he lost the dressing room. Let's be honest. And we spoke about it. He lost the dressing room when he felt like backing up his place. It became tough. The whole environment became tough. So either Jake White was going to get rid of everybody there, and they were going to leave with Jake White, and he would get rid of 10 to 11 of the starting players people in, or the easiest way out would be to get rid of Jake White. For now, if you're looking at it now, I'm looking at the coaching team now that we do have practice there now, and Bill Brain and Bill there now. I mean, they did take a step back in terms of coaching. I think
Definitely.
They had a strong coaching team there with So and guys named Custer and all of them. But I mean, it's still because also going to need some time, but also how much time we're going to be willing to give him. Because we were looking at them yesterday, they did play, and I will not touch too much into that game. They had the chances to win the game yesterday. And I mean, how impressive UNC the Stormers was here. I mean, the Bulls should have beat them yesterday. I mean, they had their opportunities yesterday. And that's something people will look at. You can take some as positives, but to the public and to guys that can double think those could be a negative. So it's another loss. And I mean, how many losses of that now? So yeah, he's got to turn his season around. It looks like the two big name players for this, putting their hands up at the moment, and Bully. But I mean, that's not the situation. But if you're looking back at it now, obviously look at the new coach going in and the new coach lost 5 or 6 or I thought that stuff. So it's going to look like others like that's a bad decision, that they were wrong in second Jack. But I mean, obviously the writing of the wall when Jack was this. In terms of the coaching position now, I mean, looking at them now and what they're doing, bringing in top coaches to help them. So I think they're in a worse position in the world. We have coaching in terms of coaches, in that whatever.
Yeah.
I've been leadership.
No, fair. Griffin, then since you are you will be neutral on this one then, regarding the initial question, but looking at the current situation at the Blue Bulls, you are now CEO or director at Blue Bulls, and the team is 0-6. This weekend is Investec, this coming weekend, that is, and is 0-7. Would you now make that phone call and be like, Jake, we need you back?
No, you can't go back. You can never go back. So they've made their decision there, and the decision to move on from Jake wasn't performance based. It was based on, as the guys have said, like other politics and things. So you can't reverse that. If you people who are CEOs of rugby clubs, these are guys with egos, right? These are guys who are the big dog in the room, and they can't be seen to go groveling back. So that's not going to happen. God, 7-0 is bad for the Blue Bulls. I think you need to ask yourself, you need to have an honest conversation with yourself about how much do you trust Ackers? And if you trust Ackers, you bring him in to the boardroom and you say, look, what level of surgery do we have here? Because that squad as it is, that's Jake White's squad. That's one that he's put together, including the signings that they brought in this season. It's Jake White's squad. So what you've got there is a collection of ingredients for a meal that you were about to cook, and then you've changed the chef. And a new chef has come in and gone, oh, well, I've got these ingredients, but I think I'm going to cook this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So, and unsurprisingly, it's not turned out ideal so far. So if you trust Ackers, you bring him into the boardroom and you say, look, what level of surgery is needed here? What kind of player turnover, playing staff turnover is required to get your vision of the Blue Bulls up and running, whether that's playing staff, whether that's coaching staff, whatever it is? Or do you say, look, Ackers, you've got until the end of the season and then we'll move on? Because I don't think you can sack him now. I still think it's too early, even though we have had half a season now. I still think it's too early. I think he deserves a full season. Especially now that he's changed the assistant coaches, he needs time to see whether that has worked. and then review again at the end of the season for me.
Well, you're making Bumelelo smile right now, Hugh. He's smiling because he's been preaching that, oh, give him time, give him time. But, Vickers, I see your hand is up, but I want to bring this to you as well. Maybe you can answer this one and then come in with your views as well. Hugh talks about ingredients. He talks about chefs in the kitchen. But when it's too hot in the kitchen, because no chef is going to sit around and start cooking because it's too hot in that kitchen. It's hot in the Blue Bulls kitchen right now. We are 0-6. You have fundamentally the best squad, one of the best squads, like for like. If we go 1-15 from yesterday, hypothetically, or actually, we don't even need to be hypothetical now. 1-15 from yesterday, Bulls lineup. 1-15 in the Stormers lineup. Blue Bulls almost had every other. Actually, they had all their four, besides that genre guy from Cheetahs, the number 8. All their forward, the whole forward pack is a Springbok forward pack. Are you telling me as a coach that with that caliber, with that lineup, you would still be 0-6 or 0-7 at Bristol? Bristol, they're playing Bristol next week. Actually, they play home next week, but it's an Investec Championship at 2:00 in the afternoon. But the team and the names that you have, Jake was putting on 2 different teams at times, 2 different teams, and still get a W. And I'm sure even against the Stormers, he would have put in a semi-B team against the Stormers and probably would have pushed the Stormers to the same scoreline. Kalimpilo Kubede, we were screaming and shouting about him when it was Jake White's time. It's Ackerman's time. How many times have we seen Kumede play for the Bulls? You know? So I understand Hugh Griffin, what he's saying, but Vickers, you're a coach with that caliber and that list of names on your team sheet. Surely, I'm sure even Scrumming Flyer would take that Blue Bulls team and put them in the top 4 by this time of the year. Teta Vickers.
It's no excuse. No excuse, brother. You said it. He's got this one. He should be able to pull off, especially home games. I mean, he lost to the Sharks. Yes, he lost to the Lions as well. But for me, there's no excuse. Obviously, you're talking about giving the guy some time. I understand. I fully understand. But to come to my point, I was just going to hit on what you said. The biggest problem with coaches and the biggest problem with organizations is that when you change a coach, you forget that the next person coming in has a different personality, has a different mentality, is going to respond differently to the players, especially the players that were selected, that were there before. He's going to approach the players differently. Now, if you look at the Wolves, for example, he took over, he literally changed players, he pushed coaching staff aside, appointed coaching staff, appointed. That for me, that tells me, if I'm an outsider, that there is no management interview that was done on a professional level in terms of you have to ask the guy the questions. Are you going to? Because remember, guys, the Bulls have just been in finals. They don't need a drastic change. They need someone who's going to steer the ship the right way. But now, if you coming in and you are second in competition, biggest competition, okay, not the biggest, but second or third biggest, you're coming in, you're second, okay? You're dismantling everything. When I'm saying dismantling, you're dismantling everything. And then you basically say to the bosses, you're giving me this season to dismantle and then try work my way back up again. but you're already there.
Oof.
You're already there. The only thing that was needed was to understand what is the philosophy that the coach is going to bring in, get the coaching assistant coaches to align with the head coach, push the team towards the right direction. And then, by all means, if it doesn't work out this season, if it doesn't work out, then you say to him, okay, now that we've gone past that point, let's go back to zero. Then dismantle everything. But not for a championship team. The second on the log. Championship team. Come in and then dismantle. You don't see it in soccer.
Yeah.
That is why in soccer teams, when the head coach goes, the assistant coach comes in, because you're trying to keep as much fluidity as possible so that you get to the point where you win.
Yeah.
You go over that step. So I'm not saying that they should have appointed assistant coach. All I'm saying is that there should have been a conversation about, can you guide us to the top? Because we're second. Remember, we're second best team. Can you guide us just to that next level so that we can see if we need more power, we need more power, more basically give us more things to do to win. Or you can't just come in and then change everything and then say, because you're always going to be under pressure your first season.
Yeah.
This is your first season.
Alignment.
That's just my point.
Alignment.
Yeah,
Alignment.
100%.
Alignment. I think that's the word that stood out from me from what you just said. Because Jade, you're too quiet. You're too quiet. We're gonna move on to the Sharks very soon. But at the moment, we're trying to understand what Akkers is trying to do with this Blue Bulls team. What Akkers is trying to do with these high caliber players, and then bringing in a high school coach to be telling Pollard and Willie Leroux to be telling Pollard and Willie Leroux what to do on attack. Seasoned players, Jade. Seasoned.
Yeah, but maybe after Willie's errors he made yesterday, oh boy, listen, I don't know, but Akkers feels comfortable with Neil de Bruyne. They'll be, be comfortable with Swiss with well, always like nice, but Swiss is pretty out in there. He's still comfortable with Neil. I don't know, it's just a decision that's really, it's a strange decision. That it needs to concerning there is quite a lot of guys down. I mean, you look at a guy like Nick Rubin's past, the coach, the guy like quite a lot of football, really easy. But anyway,
He's there with the Lions.
yeah, he's there with the Lions. I know he's with the Lions, but I mean, if you really wanted to post something, put about
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, but also, guys, we can't forget that Neil has got a good CV. He's got the Lions Super Rugby. He's got Toulouse. Toulouse. When Chesney was there, he's got Japan with Akkers as well. And he's got a good CV.
I don't think we must count to Japan because no. Continue, Jade.
Yeah, but okay, let's see what Neil does, with that backline. Let's see what he does. But you know what's cool? If you're getting the game is there to be won, and for me, I think the Bulls defensively they were nowhere. This whole season they've been struggling. And yesterday they looked better on defense. I must say, we speak of just in the Chandra Grove, so far this season we've been one of their better players who cheat us out. He's been playing good. But I mean they need a big game players to stand up. You need in a game like yesterday where Sasha has been the golden boy of Israel. You need 100 Pollard to tap him on the shoulder and say, brother, look on my shoulder. I've got 2 World Cups. I've got 2 World Cups. I'm still going to put you in your place. I'm going to challenge you for those competitions. I'm not going to step up. When you're getting Pollard, missing kicks it off. You're not really taking the game with a structural way. Valileru, drafting into the back line, making stupid decisions at time. We should just keep it simple. You're looking at a guy like Imrus Papier, playing. He's playing with vibes at the moment. He's not really playing to structure. He's playing with high feels. It's not the player he was last year. So for me, I think they need to get a shape and a structure and play from there. Whether it's going to be forward orientated, whether it's they're going to play, set structure with backline, pull the ball around. But they need to get a set structure because at the moment they're all over the place. They're all. You've got a lineup in the Storm versus 22 in the red zone, and you get a guy with experience like Akut from the middle box walking in the lineup. It's a coach killer. They don't need.
Yeah, he balked at this level.
At this level, and you're looking at who they had, it's all something like me. But anyway, Irish Lowe, to come back with injury, you get better and the season go on. But yeah, even at scrum time yesterday, I looked at them yesterday and they struggled at scrum time. And if you look, they had these guys, and Volker Lowe played, Erent played, and the Vogelaar played, van der Merwe was there. I think an Indian Vessel.
Dan Vessel's off the bench, even. Sheesh.
We're going back against,
Sandy.
And Sandy and Chunu, who was criticized and kicked out to the top team for his scrummaging, but there he is sitting there holding off arguably the best tightest scrummager in the world.
Tighted.
Tighted, it has Gokula holding his own. I just feel it was really disappointing because that was one area I thought the Bulls were really strong. He says it's scrum time, Scrum time and defensive more. I mean, it was defensively at more time.
Even your boy, Vermaak, was holding them off.
Yeah, for 20 minutes and then he got tired. He got injured. But Scoop, you know what? I think they need to find a structure. I think the Bulls need to find a structure and stick to that. I think Ackerman needs to implement the structure as soon as possible. This basketball rugby that is trying to implement, back and forth basketball, winning or losing 49-25, getting ice cold. I think he needs to get structure this team. I think he needs to tank players instead. I think he needs more people to call out. Honestly, I think one makes a step up. I think they will be a better team last year with Keegan Johannes than what they are now currently with the team. I really think that. And, I think from the bench as well, like you did mention, what's this guy's name? It's just nowhere now. All in the lunch now. The flanker you mentioned earlier.
Limbilo, Kumede.
Yeah, Kumede. Where is he? I mean, you're still bringing Azimka off the bench, decisions like that you're doing, you're making decisions. So yeah, he really needs to get his team back. He really needs to get selection back. Else, it will be a long season for you. I see them in a similar situation to where the Stormers was last year.
Oh, Jade or Vickers, think about what is Johan Ackerman's IP. Since you've been watching rugby, don't tell me about John Mitchell, because John Mitchell introduced a template for the Lions. Swayze took that template and he brushed it up, he tweaked here and there. They didn't change much. And that was the winning formula for the Lions. If you noticed. At the Blue Bulls, it's a whole different story. They've taken something from Jake White, and now they have to stick with that. But he, like Vuyo said, Ackerman decided to change everything. And now these are the results. Hugh Griffin, you've been waiting for too long. You've been itching to come at Jade. Talk to me.
No, I'm not coming at anybody. I just want to say I would warn Bulls fans against getting, because they pushed the best team in the league, and could have, and I'm not sure about should have won this, because if you look at the underlying stats of the game, the Stormers were on top in every stat. The only way that you could say the Bulls could have won it is if Bollard kicks his kicks, Sasha missed a lot of his kicks as well.
Yeah.
And maybe they cling on, don't concede that try at the end. But I would say don't get excited just yet, Bulls fans, that you've changed a couple of coaches and now you're back. I would say, look, think about the situation that the players were going into in this game. It's a full Springbok team against their biggest rivals, the biggest derby in South Africa. 55,000 people in Cape Town in the seats to watch them play. If they're ever going to apply themselves and concentrate and follow the coach's instructions, it's in that scenario, because they could have got a hiding. They could have gone, look, I don't want to get my ass kicked by my Springbok Jersey rival in front of 55,000 people, when the whole nation's watching on TV. No thanks. So they kind of dragged it to that level. But like I said, the underlying stats say that the Stormers were well on top in this game. And, cool, you've made a fight of it in your big derby away from home against the best team in the league. Now let me see you beat let me see you beat Edinburgh away. Now I want to see that. Then I'll believe that you've turned a corner.
Oof. Poof. Okay, enough with the Blue Bulls, actually. Hugh, your thoughts on Stormers, your thoughts on Sasha yesterday and Pollard in yesterday's game?
I guess Pollard first, and you guys have mentioned Pollard and Billy. You kind of put them together. I think I saw somebody else summed it up perfectly. Is that in that scenario, those two guys, you want those guys to be your best players in a game like that. You want them to 100%. Be the guys who keep their heads, who perform, who deliver under pressure, and they didn't do that. Billy, what do they say? Leave the game before the game leaves you. He had a couple of poor moments. The cross kick at the end, I have no idea what he was thinking. Maybe he had seen something, but his execution was dreadful. And, his yellow card as well was so stupid. Like, the amount that this guy shouts at referees, gets in their face and shouts in their face. Like, did you see when Pollard scored the try and he goes and gets in the referee's face and you see the replays? There's nothing. There's
nothing. You've got to try. You've got to try. Leave it.
Yeah. So, that's kind of, I talked more about Billy than Pollard there, but Sasha, what's interesting, it's kind of one, stats test versus the eye test with Sasha yesterday, because he is top of every single ball in hand stat in this game. Every single one. Like, he made 16 carries in this game, with the next most player made 11. Like, he touched the ball more than any player who wasn't a scrum half. He got the most line breaks, most defenders beaten, most meters, everything Sasha did. But, eye test, we watched the game. He wasn't great. He made 100%. A lot of mistakes. So, we'll put it down to that. I think Manny Lebok probably enjoyed watching this game, seeing Pollard and Sasha miss kicks, not being able to hit a barn door from the tee. So, it's not easy, is it, guys? So that's it. That's from the Bulls' point of view. From the Sasha point of view, I thought Sasha tried to force it, and sometimes I was like, mate, concentrate. Not every touch has to be a miracle. Just okay is okay. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good here. But from a Stormers point of view, if we talk about not just this game but this season so far, very impressive. Look, undefeated. What is it? 10-0 this season, including Champions Cup. It's not to be sniffed at. You can't argue with it. But the results speak for themselves, and it's not like a fluke. It's not a purple patch. They're genuinely doing it, and they're underlying. I think the physicality is the thing. Their maul is it's the best maul in the world. Call it what it is. I'm not getting hyperbolic. It's backed up by the stats. Their maul is the best maul in the world. Their scrum, I really enjoyed the scrum battle yesterday between them and the Blue Bulls. I think their scrum is, on the day, 9 times out of 10. Well, maybe not 9 times out of 10, but if they played 10 times, I think the Bulls had the better scrum 6 times. So they're probably second to the Bulls in the scrum time still, in my opinion. But so their set piece is very solid, but their game line stats. So dominant carries, the Stormers are 48% dominant carries. Actually, the Bulls are better. But game line percentage, the one I'm looking for is defense's game line denial. Stormers, 37% game line denial. So 37% of the time when someone runs at them, they don't push the game line, which is the best of any club side in the world. And I think that's what the Stormers are hanging their hat on this season, is the physicality. It's off the charts. In this game, some of the collisions, when players run at each other and they stop for a second, they don't go straight to the ground. There's the contact and they stop in the air and then they go down. Crazy levels of physicality in this game, absolutely crazy. And I think that they're being a lot more structured. Like it's almost night and day to last season, about how last season Dobbo was kind of like, hey, Sasha, Warwick Gallant, Damien Willemse, have the ball, just do you guys, just have fun out there. Whereas this season, it's a lot more like, in this part of the field, you do this. After this many phases, we don't want to go to 10 phases in attack. Once you get to the 7th or 8th ruck, try a kick, try a grubber, try it up and under, try something. We don't want to have this many phases. It's super structured, it's super prescriptive, and they're getting the results from it. Can't argue.
No, 100%. Well summarized, Jade.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't, when you mentioned the scrum dominance and how good they were yesterday. I've been Scoop, I mean, you spoke with us personally a few weeks ago. A few times yesterday, you could even see, Griffin Colby mentioning to Okola, you are dominant at scrum time. But in your dominance, they're forcing you to make mistakes. And I mean, that's something that the Stormers have done this whole season. They might not be dominant at scrum time, but they force you to make a mistake, in your dominance. Volkolo was dominating Mchunu a few times, but they still managed to make him collapse. They still managed to injure times.
He lost his bind a few times as well.
And it's maybe something, Scoop, maybe something for the rest of the world to look at a certain team in green that has a very dominant scrum. Maybe something to look at. Maybe Stormers has the blueprint. It's something that they can. Other teams can look at, especially at scrum time, especially when we're talking about the scrum. But looking at they managed to absorb and dominant scrum yesterday, especially looking at Mchunu and I think Alec Van Mark and Declan Sure did yesterday. And throughout the season, maybe the rest of the world can have a look at it.
No, fair. I mean, looking at the scrums yesterday, I thought obviously Colby, the ref now, he could have punished. Was it Wilkolo on this side or was it Hobler? But one of the guys went down and it was right in front of the referee. And I thought to myself, bro, blow it. And then a minute later, he blows for the exact same thing, but it was against the Stormers. And I thought, man, because now the Stormers are pinged right on their goal line at some point. And I'm like, you see, now this could have happened in reverse because now you're in front of the scrum. It's the Stormers put in. The Blue Bulls prop loses his bind, goes on his knee, and then it looks like now the Stormers guy is coming at an angle. And I'm like, this should have been the first penalty, and then the Stormers would have found themselves inside the Blue Bulls 22. But and then he was keen, for me, I think in that first half, the ref was keen to play away more than actually taking control and taking charge of those scrums, because when you're only blowing the scrums because your AR or assistant referee on the other side is giving you the call, then as a referee you are not taking ownership of those scrums. If you guys understand what I'm saying, in the first 40 minutes as a referee you need to take ownership if you want those props to really respect you going forward for the rest of the game. So you don't have a back and forth. So you don't have any misconstrued ideas that this and that is happening. Take ownership, blow what you see, and your assistant referees must follow you after that. Just give me an input. Maybe if I blow a penalty now, for example, it's the first scrum, 10 minutes in, I blow a penalty, either tighthead or loosehead loses their bind or drops their knee down before the ball is in, and once that ball comes in, they can't continue pushing forward, obviously, because they've already collapsed. Blow that immediately. Then the next one is the tighthead from the opposition. Blow him immediately. Then have a chat. Then take control of that situation, because you don't want that to be the only thing that everyone focuses on, because then now you're going to get this team coming to complain, that team coming to complain. On Sunday, the coaches are sending you clips. Hey, you missed this. You're in front of it. You are looking at this. You were in front of this scrum. Why aren't you blowing this? Then now your coach, who's a referee coach now, not Dobbo, not Akkers, your referee coach now also sends you the same stuff. Because then now you're going to be looked at as a referee that doesn't understand the scrums. You have to understand every single detail that goes on in those situations. But nonetheless, Vickers' final thoughts on Stormers, and then we move on to the Sharks.
No, bro, nothing much for me. I haven't watched the game, so can't complain. Can't comment on it.
All right. Fantastic. All right. Going on to the Sharks. There was also same question that we posed for the Blue Bulls, which was justified or premature. But I think for the Sharks, it's written in the wall. It was written on the wall, or the writing was on the wall. Jeepers, English is a messy one. I'm still in holiday fever, guys. Bear with me here. The writing was on the wall for Plumbers, and they said they were gonna give him up until the end of the season. I guess they were like, after a few losses, they were like, no, let's not prolong this thing. Let's get rid of him now. And luckily, his assistants are still there. And JP will just continue with those assistants. And the Sharks beat the Blue Bulls. Emotive game, I think. From my perspective, I think that was more on an emotional side of things. Gotten rid of the coach. Akaz's first derby or second derby. JP's first coaching gig, etc. As a head coach now, looking after Springboks and everybody. But I don't know, man. I don't know that if the Sharks have really turned the corner, to be honest, because watching from yesterday, it's still the same old stuff. It's still the same old problems that were there. I don't know. It begs the question at this point, looking at the whole of South African rugby at the moment, players wise, like just the local stuff, local franchises, Sharks, Lions, Blue Bulls now. But the Stormers obviously are in a different situation. But the other three clubs, just in terms of consistency, and once Russell leaves this whole shebang, this whole South Africa Springboks entity or franchise, there's gonna be big problems, I think, going forward, because there's no local coach besides Dobo that has taken the game by the scruff of the neck and taken the franchise to the next level. The Sharks were supposed to have done that by now with the caliber of players they've got. The Lions, I have no idea what the Lions are doing, but they're just happy to be thereabout. I think they're just happy to have a franchise in Gauteng to be at this point in time. But what can we say, Jade, about the Sharks losing by, yes, don't get me wrong, great work by Pete, but losing at home to that Lions team. What more can we say now about the Sharks? We've broken down the Sharks. I think for 3 seasons. This is our 4th season now, looking at the Sharks, and we're saying the exact same thing over and over and over again.
I'm laughing now because I'm thinking to myself, I must be honest, I only watched the last 20 minutes today out in the road yesterday. And in that last 20 minutes, they were leading by 4 points. And they had an opportunity of 3 or 4 times to kick the ball. They would line out, turn over ball, fight for the ball, clear, came back, penalty, line out, scrum, tap and go, turn over ball, and I think to myself, the Lions are going to win. They are going to win this game. How stupid must you be? You as a coach, you as a captain, underestimating the leadership players or the leadership group in that team. A few of them made decisions, a few of those leaders in that team made decisions that one walked off slack. So how stupid must you be just not to take the points? Get 7 points. A 3-point lead, you're not going to lose the game at least. At least then if you play for a draw. If they do get a penalty, force them to score in the corner, if they do get a line, force them to score in the corner, and they have a difficult conversion to kick off. But yeah, that just sums up the Sharks. That sums up the Sharks. Sums up what they are. The decisions they made, they're making behind the scenes, decisions they're making. The whole plan now, let's not forget about it. You didn't mention that Sia Kulisi also leaving them, next season. I don't think they're in a good shape on and off the field. And when they can't back it up and making decisions like that on the field, come on. Oh, I was, I looked at it yesterday and thinking to myself, thank you, Lions. Thank you, Pete, for scoring that because they deserve. After not taking the poles 2 or 3 times and taking the poles, you deserve it. You deserve to lose again. It's a derby. And against a team that has beaten you a few times, in the past now, at the Lions. I mean, they have been an Achilles heel, they've been their Achilles heel in the past few seasons. So yeah, I don't know. Did you watch this game? That you can add so much to it, but for me, it just sums up with the Sharks at the moment. I mean, we spoke about it at point for the safety Peterson that we said last season already. It was a season too long for club. They should have pulled the plug on club last season. It wasn't going to work. Plug's updated in terms of coaching. He's one of the coaches that should take the package and go to Japan. And then with all of those guys there, just, finish it up there. Get an EPC team in New Zealand that just, work for a few months, get a package, and that's that. I don't think he has if he's cut out to coach USC rugby at the moment. With much better coaches around there, around. I mean, you're looking at into Africa as well, much better coaches around. So yeah, JP Peterson's also going to struggle. I don't think he has. If the Sharks will win anything within the season, whether they'll be satisfied making a playoff. Yeah, they will make the playoff, but then they lose. I mean, I don't think they're making a semi-final of any competition this season. Now, for me, Scoop, the Sharks, a team like that should at least be making semi-finals of the UFC. I mean, that should be their benchmark. All the money and investment in ways they have it, but I don't think they'll do it. So yeah, it'll be another written off season for the Sharks. Could be the third or fourth season in a row under this system. Even they also Rockefeller, the ownership, since they took over, it's been another season they can bite off. People, they will come back and they say, yeah, but we won the Curry Cup last year and we won the, what's this?
The EPCR.
Yeah, EPCR. But you, the Sharks, you shouldn't be doing that. Look at what the Stormers have done, limited resources. Look at what the Stormers have done. The Stormers have done, they've kept their best player in Sasha. They've kept the likes of Damien Williamson. They've kept their signed Siya Kolisi from you. Whether Siya Kolisi plays 2 or 3 games for the Stormers next year, does not matter. They signed him from the Sharks. There is more people coming to the stadium, more attention to the Stormers next year because of the signing and the impact that Siya Kolisi will have in that team. More people getting peace, from a Springbok captain, more younger players looking up to this guy, and getting advice and and IP training every day from the Springbok captain. Losing a player like that, you massive investment come back home, whether it's for personal reasons or not, but it goes left you. And you're looking at, what's happening with even this year as well. I mean, they're not going to have the whole season. It's not their fault, but I mean, it's still an issue. I mean, they're not going to have even the whole season. Yeah, they're getting Thomas Toy next year. Chunu's left them. He's gone to the Stormers. He's been an absolute eater at the Stormers. So yeah, there's just the decisions they're making on and off the field. I don't think it's, I don't think Sharks are in a good place at the moment. And for me, I really question their ownership. I really question the ownership. I really question the influence they've made, the signings they made, the people they brought on there. Started with employing a guy like Neil Powell, shouldn't have been there. I don't think he was the correct man at the moment. I don't think he might have been the right man, in terms of coaching style, in terms of plans, but I don't think he had the personality and the character to push back, for these marquee signings that the owners wanted and that the board wanted. I don't think he had that. I don't think he could push back towards that. I mean, it's just a mess there at the moment. One good thing that I can say was Sharks now is the few guys that's putting up there that playing good rugby. Jaden Hendrickson playing good rugby again. But other than that, the Sharks, I don't put them winning a trophy this season. I don't. I think there's another season.
Yeah, mid-table. Hugh, when was the last time you saw Eben Etzebeth dominating the playing field, be it at Springbok level, be it at Sharks?
Well, the last time I saw him full stop was when he had his thumb in Alex Mann's eye. That's the last time I saw him. So can't blame him for the loss yesterday because he's got his feet up somewhere in Durban, or probably in Cape Town, actually, if you're honest about it. So I don't know. We can't blame him, but no, he's not. He's had a slightly quiet last 12 months, to be fair. Tell you someone who we can't blame. Jade's mentioned him. Sia Khaleesi has scored a try in every single game he's played for the Sharks this season, 5-5. So it's clearly not Sia Khaleesi's. Sia Khaleesi's in incredible form, and it's a great signing for the Stormers. I know he's from there, so there's a bit of romance to it. But yeah, But what can you say? Stack those two 15s up against each other. How many Lions players get into the Sharks team? Now I know there's a joke here to be made about in a year's time all of them because the Sharks will sign them. But on paper, Chris Williams-Smith was the best fly half in South Africa this weekend. What can you say? I'm just going to check my notes to make sure that I don't miss anything. I mean, the Lions got their offload game going. You have to remember, guys, that the Lions had a really tough start to the URC season. They had their Northern Tour and they didn't win any games, and it was looking bad. And Lions fans wanted Cash Money Van Ruin gone. And now since they've got back to South Africa, it's all been plain sailing. It's all been great. So I guess it was just the weather at the end of things. So yeah, there was a lot of mistakes from both teams. Both teams had a reasonable number of 22 entries without converting it very much. I think the Lions had a lot of joy on Hooker's wing. I'm not sure if that's a comment on Hooker, but they went that way a lot. And Hooker was the top tackler. Ethan Hooker, the winger, was the top tackler for the Sharks in this game, which is very unusual. So that's interesting. I thought Fassi looked okay. I thought Andre Esterhuizen looked okay, but both dropped the ball a lot. But generally, I think Andre Esterhuizen's having a good season. But yeah, I mean, so you guys tell me, this Lions scrum half guy who came off the bench, the guy who was tearing it up for the under-20s, and everyone was saying, oh my God, he's better than Dupont. And then we haven't seen him. Why hasn't he been playing for the Lions? Is Morne van den Berg just that good?
Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Because, yeah, man, there seems to be this thing in SA. I don't know what it is. Well, I actually know what it is, but I don't think this is the conversation for today. But, yeah, man, there's a certain attitude towards certain players. And coaches will say different things when it comes to press conferences. And I mean, as fans, anyone with two eyeballs can see how good a player is, right? Let's put away the hate. And I mean, everyone knows in the world that Dupont is a very good number 9. Everyone saw in the under-20s the best halfback in the whole competition was Pete, right? Now he comes to the Lions, but obviously in South Africa they'll talk about hierarchy. So because now Morne is already a Springbok, and Rassie is also pushing Morne in some of these barbarian games, Italy here and there, and if they get to play against a Portugal, he will kind of start those games. He's kind of grooming him. Maybe Rassie sees him as the future 9 to take over into maybe, let's say, post 2027, unless Rassie is pushing him to start in 2027. So that could be another thing. And then maybe the conversation now between Cash and Rassie or people at Stellenbosch is that we need to get this guy to start more games, and so that we need him to get comfortable. Once he hit these straps at Springbok level, then the Pete guy will probably come through. Then the issue for me is that if Morne is your number 1 halfback, why would Booz beat what is this thing called now? What is this person that wow.
Papier.
Yeah?
The ball's number 9.
No. The thing is number 9. The Lions. Wow. Promoter. No, man. The guy who promotes you, man. Jeez, what is this? Agent. Pete's agent. I mean, he should have looked around in South Africa and said, okay, cool. Since the Stormers number 9 was going away to France, and they are getting a Reinach is not going to play for too long, right? He's probably got 2 more seasons in him, and that's it. Then Pete could be the next guy that comes in line at the Stormers. Because now if he's at the Lions, I don't think he'll get a lot of game time, similar to what Nohamba's situation was. So that's my issue with what's going to happen with Pete at the Lions, and then he's going to get frustrated, and then he's not going to get a lot of game time.
Grant is leaving the Sharks as well.
Who's leaving?
Grant Williams leaving the Sharks.
Oh, but he's still playing under. He'll play behind. What's his name? Jade mentioned him earlier.
Jaden. He's not.
Jaden. Yeah, and Jaden's is not old, so Jaden probably has another 5 seasons in him at the Sharks if he doesn't go overseas. But yeah, what my problem is, your agent needs to understand the situation, understand the playing field, and maybe find something for you that would be more suitable. Because as a young player, you want to play. There's no 2 ways about it. You want to start, you want to play. And if you're going to be sitting the bench for 10 games in a season, in a season that has what, 12, 13 games? Or how many games in URC? 18. So if you're going to sit bench for 15 of those 18 games, man, it's going to be tough. It's going to frustrate you a bit. But Vickers, we haven't heard from you. Talk to us.
Yeah, look, I'm listening to you guys talk and I'm thinking about simple things. Like Jane spoke earlier about management. It's so sad in current sports that management get involved in teams as fans, not as strategic people. I don't know if you guys will understand what I mean there, because if you look at the team, if you look at your team, the Bulls team, you look at the Bulls team, you're looking at a couple of Springboks, but a lot of youngsters. Let's be honest, a lot of newcomers in the Springbok team, but they have a couple of good Springboks within their squads. Now, that is a coach that deserves an assistant coach continuing with the job, or a coach like Akos coming in with a pedigree, if you could call it like that, because he was part of the SA hobby unit. He was part of that. He's been coaching Super Rugby. He's coaching England, so he's got a pedigree. Now, you look at the Sharks, the number of, I'm going to say crazy Springboks in terms of World Cups, number of World Cups, the caliber of that team deserves a high value coach. No assistant coach will be able to give those guys the motivation, first of all, the knowledge, the belief, because remember, players play for coaches. So if you're not going to make me believe, if I don't believe in your CV, how will I then represent you? Because your CV, ultimately your CV is your talking point when it comes to a high caliber team like the Sharks. So if you look at what the Sharks are, that kind of team, that team deserved a coach that has done it, has been there, has got the T-shirt, and now is looking for something. I think that is why the rumor that we saw earlier about Jake White coming in, speaking to the Sharks, because that is the kind of team that needs that person that has done it before. So for me, I think first and foremost, JP could have taken the weekend that Plum left. Then the very next weekend should have been a new coach. Should have been a high caliber coach because of this, what I'm talking about. The players look at your CV. I don't care what anyone says. There is no player that will put his body on the line, push his, even the young players, push themselves for a coach that they know that is not going to be there for long. Because his CV says that he's not going to be there for long. Because the management are saying that he's not going to be there for long. So the coach that they should have been looking for He's a high caliber coach that should have taken. In fact, if JP went 2 weekends, that should have been the most maximum 2 weekends. Then after that, a high caliber coach should have come in. He should have been working with the. He can work with the coaches, with the coaches that he has, can try to structure something to move forward until end of the season, so that he can have a preseason. Remember, next year there's a lot of rugby in South Africa. A lot of rugby is going to be played in South Africa.
This year, because
this year, 2026. This year, there's going to be a lot of rugby. You will not have a long, preseason with your Springbok players.
Yeah.
So, which means the players that are next up in the next level, they need to be up to standard. So, what are those players doing now? Those players, who's coaching those players to make sure that we've got someone to replace Fassi. They've got this young kid Kunene who's been playing fullback a couple of times. They've got the Yaos on the wing who's going to be replacing MP probably. You've got your Andre Isla is not there. Julius is going. Is left. So you need new pairings of centers. Uka is going to go. So you need to start working on a team now so that when you don't have the preseason next year, you have a good start next year. Because once you start bad in the URC, chances are you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
So for me, that is what when Jade mentioned the management, I thought of the point of the high quality, the high caliber team that the Sharks have deserve a high value coach, not someone with a thin CV like JP. JP retired and he started coaching academy, and he was Currie Cup head coach. By the times we saw that when the URC players were coming back, who was taking over? Plum was taking over. So you see, it was happening in the Currie Cup like that. Now you're telling us that this guy must take head coach. He must be the next head coach to take us to the end of the season. No, it's management. They clearly, there's a lot of fans out there. There's not a lot of professional people who understand what the game needs. And again, it's sad. It's sad for me as a coach. I mean, look, for me as a coach, these are the kind of things that I discuss with my employers. Is that so? What is expected? What can I do? Where is the level of the team? What can I change? What can I change? But I work with what I have based on where the team is. My team, for example, the team I'm coaching now is dominating 50 points, 100 easy 50 points in the seventh game. Now, if I come in and I change everything and we start losing to teams that were beating 50 points, what do you think is going to happen?
Because cheers. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for coming. So what I do is that I understand what my team have, and then I say, okay, what can I do that is going to change the performance of the team to be better based on the foundation I have?
Yeah.
So I change a couple of things, but I don't change. I'm waiting for when I start implementing the small things. Eventually, I will be there in charge of the team. But you cannot do that from the get-go. Come there, dismantle everything, start from zero. Then you're asking for, I don't want to say the word, but you're asking for S. You do. But anyway, look, we can go on a lot about these kind of things, but I think for me, the most important thing is that management of these units need to stop being fans and start doing a professional job, because the sport requires a professional mindset.
I think well said. I mean, you could not have said it any better. You've put it in plain, simple English, because it is the behind that is happening currently in top level, C-suite, top level management. We need more rugby managers, people who understand the game, not people like the rugby scoop having to go and manage the Blue Bulls, having to go and manage the Sharks. Otherwise, we're out there on the field getting autographs from Siya Kolisi and Elizabeth after the game. We're out there on the field getting autographs from Henry Pollard and Willie Leroux after the game. We're not taking care of the product. We're not taking care of the team. We're not looking after the coaches. We're not giving. Actually, some of these coaches are literally going for career suicide when they accept these type of roles. Because at the end of the day, now look where you are because you accepted X. Had you taken a step back and looked at what's happening within the franchises? Because if it's rotten, my man, you're not going to do any better. If it's rotten from the core, you are not going to do any better. Because you have the fans that are on Twitter, lots of money, but out there behaving as fans with the likes of the Siakolisis and the Etsab. Oh, we've acquired this guy now. We've acquired that guy. Look what our team's doing. Glitz and glamour. But at the end of the day, I think Russ has said it. What is the main thing, gentlemen? What is the main thing? Rugby is the main thing. Let that be the main thing for the rest of the club. Not who you've acquired. You can acquire all you want because it's a Beth, Siakolisi, Lukanyo Arm, Mapimpi. I mean, put those guys together and look how many games they've played for the Sharks. We are in season what now? 4, 5 of URC? How many games have those guys played put together? I doubt we even get to 100 games. I doubt we even get to 100 games. Actually, 100 is too much. 50 games at that. It's a bit probably played like 6, 7 games last year. Last season. 6, 7 games. There's 18 rugby games. 18 in the URC. Oh, man. But anyway, regardless of that, guys, let's head off to the end of this show with predictions. Investec Championship next week. We'll look at the URC teams that are playing. We've got Edinburgh versus Gloucester. Oof. I think Edinburgh takes that one. Griffin?
Who cares? Yeah, who cares? Edinburgh. Actually, Gloucester are 1 win from 9 in the Premiership. So
Exactly. That is why. Vickers, Edinburgh, Gloucester?
Yeah, I think you guys have said it. I haven't watched any rugby, so I wouldn't know. I think at this point, Edinburgh. Where's
You'll
the
go
game
with-
played, though?
You'll go with
Where's
us.
Where is the game played?
Scotland.
Yeah, Edinburgh.
Jade?
I don't know. Is it going to be over 40 points or under 40 points? I'm asking for my betting skill.
This is not. We are not sponsored by Betway here. Bulls, Bristol, Jade.
Those should win it home. Like 2 o'clock kickoff, Jade come out. Stupid stuff.
Yeah, so we've said this many a times, but look what Bordeaux did. Vickers, Bulls, Bristol.
Bulls, bro. Bulls.
Their first win.
Yeah.
Hugh?
there'll be over 40 points in this game, I tell you that much. Bristol are a very unserious rugby team. So yeah, whoever scores last will win.
Oh, jeez. And then we've got Glasgow and Clermont. Hugh, you should know more about these two.
Glasgow, every day of the week.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, your boy, Harry Plummer, Clermont, captained Clermont at the weekend, been named by the French press the best signing in the top 14 this season.
Of course. We told you guys. It's easy for Southern Hemispheres. I'm kidding. Because Clermont versus Glasgow Warriors.
Where is the game played?
In France.
Yes. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, but I'll go with Hugh but Hugh loves Glasgow, so I don't know. Hugh's compromised. He's captured. So
He's captured by Franco.
No, he's captured. Okay, I'll go Clermont, just to be opposite. Clermont.
Okay. Jade?
I think Clermont will win. Harry Plum is a very good team. I think
It's going to be a good. It's going to be a good game. That's a very good game, actually. Maybe I should watch that one. Jade, sticking with you. Leinster versus La Rochelle.
I think back my boy require only.
Hugh, another one for you.
Yeah, Leinster. La Rochelle are going backwards. They're not a good team, so Leinster.
So Rog will be sacked by midnight.
I don't know if he'll be sacked by midnight, but yeah, he's having a bad time.
Yeah, wasn't he like given red cards or yellow cards like 3 or 4 times this season?
Yeah, he's up to 30 weeks worth of bans from the top 4 teams.
Jeepers. No. I think they must pull the plug now. But the problem is who comes in. Problem is
So they got money, they can get who they want.
fair enough. Vickers, Leinster, La Rochelle.
Leinster.
Okay, Vickers, sticking with you. Sail Sharks versus Coastal Sharks back in the days.
Shark Week.
Week.
Shark. Yes. I think Sail are going to go take it.
You?
Sail are going to take it.
Yeah, man, this is the Sharks. The South African Sharks.
South African Sharks.
No, I'm saying
Oh.
it's the South African Sharks. They're not going to win. The English Sharks will win.
Jade.
Is this going to be Bongi versus Stompari?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Waterkant, huh?
I think so.
Jade, sticking with you. I think this is not the last one. 2 more to go. Toulon versus Munster.
Oh, it's going to be a good game. It wants to wins the game.
It's a Sunday game.
Yeah, I think this point with Munster since the last European round, they've just been better. I think too long.
You?
Is it in too long?
Yeah, in Toulon.
Yeah, too long.
Oh. Because
Toulon.
okay, not wasting any time. Last one. Oh, this is a big one. Harlequins, Stormers, because
Jesus.
in England. Oh, really?
Stormers. Jesus. Those are on a high. I'm going to go for Stormers 100%.
In England?
Yes. Even if they've traveled well, they're unbeaten.
Interesting. Very interesting. Hugh?
Yeah, Stormers, bro. Harlequins put out a statement today apologising for their results.
No, man. Shush. What?
Yeah. They put out a statement saying that they can make changes because the results aren't good enough. Stormers every day.
Oh, what a mess. Jade?
This game has a scoop.
Yes, sir.
So the only was another side. There's only 1, 2 English teams, and I think so. So be close, by the way.
All right, fair enough, guys. Hugh, your boys are playing Northampton Saints on Sunday as well, eh? Your Bordeaux.
Northampton Saints are going very well in the Premiership. But Bordeaux was 60 on Racing yesterday. Should be a hell of a game, that high scoring.
Fantastic. Guys, thank you very much for listening in. It was a good first one for 2026. Thank you, Jade. Thank you, Hugh. Thank you, Vickers. Thank you to all the listeners as well. Obviously, the pod will be up on Spotify either tonight or latest tomorrow morning. Cheers, guys. Lovely to be back. Lovely to talk footy. And yeah, we'll be seeing you guys more often on Sundays. Cheers. Good night.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, fellas.